Hey folks, Roland Martin here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. You know, recently I have a deal with Spro Tackle. I've got my deal back with Spro Tackle, and they have a lot of different lures. They have the bronze-eye frog, of course, that I use so much. They have Little Johns. They have a lot of different things, but they've come out with a new jerkbait. And one of my jobs as a fisherman, as a pro fisherman, is to test lures. I've never used this bait before, so I'm going to make the first cast I've ever made with it in my life. But I'm going to see how it casts. First of all, it casts good. Okay, I have it on my favorite rod. My favorite. It's kind of floating on the top. I don't know if it's going to be a good. It's a topwater jerkbait. Okay, I see. Well, that's good. Or we can probably just reel it. It throws good. I don't know if it's going to be a good deal or not. I'm gonna just kind of jerk it along. Now, I'm fishing in a little private pond, and there's quite a few bass in here. I'm using 20-pound test line, and I'm using a favorite 7-foot rod. It's really my worm rod. I'm just going to kind of work it along slow and see what happens. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, there's one. I got one. Oh. Oh, man. The fish is hung up in a bush. The fish is on the plug. I got to show you this thing. The fish is on the plug, but the plug's hung in the bush. Look at this. I'm going to show you this fish. There's a fish on the plug, but it's hung in the bush, and so that's kind of a bad deal. Look at this, right here. See it? Right here in the water. It's right there. Maybe I can come up with it. Okay, I got him. I pulled him out of there. Okay, well that worked. Hey, that's a nice deal. He hit the plug. That was crazy, because he hit the jerkbait, and then he got hung in a bush. So that was a heck of a deal. So I'll have to straighten that hook out, because he really kind of messed it up. Well, I get some pliers. I got my pliers. Let's try to get this thing going again. Well, you know, that was kind of a funny deal. That fish hit that jerkbait, and it actually about straightened one of the hooks out. These are really sharp Gamakatsu hooks, by the way. See, Spro also has their other division is Gamakatsu. So these Gamakatsu hooks are the sharpest hooks you can find. So all their plugs, whether it's a jerkbait or a crankbait, have the Gamakatsu hooks, because that's one of their parent company is Gamakatsu and Spro. Okay, see, this hook is a little bent. Not bad. Bend it right back into shape again. Okay, I'll drift it in here, and what I'll do is I'll just throw back out there and just kind of just twitch it along. Well, who knows? We just have to try different techniques, different patterns, different retrieves. Oh, he got him. He came up and got it. I just worked it real slow. There's a nice one too, boy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, son. It's a nice one. Okay, that was the secret of that one. Working it like a topwater plug. Hey, look at this guy. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking big time. He ate that plug, son. He ate it up. Woo! So, maybe there's a pretty good plug after all. Look at that guy. Now that is a bass and a half, son. And he took it way down deep. Took it way down. Nice big 4 or 5 pounder. Hit that jerkbait. And again, I've never fished this plug. It's a brand new deal. This is just something I'm trying out. I don't know too much about what's going on. But the last 2 fish were kind of interesting, because what they did, they hit on a real slow, well, just almost just sitting there. It's kind of a topwater deal. So it's more of a topwater plug at this point. Let's see, let me get this thing adjusted a little bit. More of a topwater plug. I'll just throw to these trees and let it sit there. See what happens. It's just sitting there. Nothing's happening. I don't know if he'll hit it or not. Again, it's such a shallow jerkbait that it's more of a topwater plug than a definite jerkbait. In other words, a jerkbait, oh God, I don't want to hit it then. Oh my heavens, he hit it as a topwater plug. Oh, nice one too. Oh, nice one. Yes, look at this guy. He hit it as a topwater plug. I mean, they think it's a topwater plug. I mean, it is a topwater plug. Look at this guy. So I tell you, it's not so much of a jerkbait as it is a topwater plug. And I'm throwing it by these stumps and a heavy brush, and look at these guys. I mean, we're talking about quality fish. We're talking about quality fish, son. Woo! That's big old 4 and 5 pounders. Woo! Look at that guy. Now that's what it was. I'm gonna have to get the camera back on some of these, on these places where I'm throwing, because some of these better fish, they're coming up and just knocking it right on the top. They're just hitting it as a topwater plug. And, ow. They're really nice fish too. Look at the size of these big old giant fish. I mean, that's just as nice as it can be. Okay, now I'm gonna try to get the camera to show what I'm doing with that thing. Now, there's a log over here, and I'm gonna kind of throw to the log. I'm just gonna turn the boat a little teeny bit. There's a log floating in the water right there. I'm gonna throw it over there. And I'm just gonna throw it like I do with a topwater plug. It's like the old rapalla thing that we used to do years ago. It didn't go down very far either. So anyway, that's a couple big bass that hit it right on the surface as a topwater lure. Back on this stump right here, that's where that big one just came from, right there. Just a beautiful, beautiful strike. He garbaged it. Woo, son. You know what, I'll say one thing now. I'm using 20-pound test line. I'm using 20-pound test line on a favorite rod, 7-foot rod. And this is a pretty heavy lure. So it throws good. It has a lot of weight to it, and it really throws excellent. And I can make a good accurate cast with it. So I'm just gonna try again. I'm not gonna throw too far. I wanted to show you how those things are hitting that thing. They're hitting it as a topwater plug. So right back in that little pocket. And I'm just working it slow and easy, kind of like I'd work the old rapallas years ago, just on the top like that. Just kind of twitch it along. An injured minnow. It's a jerk bait, but it's a real shallow one. It's just a super shallow one. This is this new Spro plug, and I don't even know if it has a name at this point. I don't even know if they're going to come out with it. They're calling this thing the Zero Minnow. Zero Minnow, I guess that means it's zero right on the top. Okay, so that's a Zero Minnow right on the top. Let's get, oh, there's a fish underneath mine. He's right underneath it. Zero Minnow. That was such a cool strike. That big old 4-pounder, he garbaged it, son. He took it down. He took it down. Just working it slow and easy as a kind of as a topwater plug, but it's a jerk bait. I don't know. It's called a 130. It means it's, oh, I got him. He just came and sucked it down. He didn't blast it, but he just sucked it down. It was all of a sudden just twitching it on the top. And look at the big old fish, big old nice one. He just came and blasted it, son. Okay. Ooh. He didn't blast it, he just kind of sucked it down. Okay, let me get this thing. You gotta really be careful of these fish. And you don't want to get hooked because that's some powerful Gamakatsu hooks now. That is something else. Well, you know, this zero crankbait, or it's not a crankbait, it's a jerkbait. It's producing all kind of fish. It's really good, but it's not so much a crankbait, it's not so much a jerkbait as it is a topwater plug. But they're hitting it. They're hitting it. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Well, folks, I can see that we're getting somewhere. Let me explain the tackle. I mean, there's some possibility of 6-pound bass. So I'm using 20-pound monofilament. I like monofilament for the simple reason that monofilament casts better. I mean, it's perfect for topwater. And another thing that you want if you're using a topwater, and this happens to be a kind of a topwater jerkbait, the monofilament doesn't sink as bad as fluorocarbon, and it's a lot easier to handle and cast. And I don't like braid for topwater or for jerkbaits either. The rule of thumb, you're working jerkbaits, the guys like Kevin Van Dam, they normally use fluorocarbon. Say about an 8 to 10 to 12 pound test fluorocarbon on most of the jerkbaits that they fish. Well, that was an interesting concept right there, boys. I don't know what's happening, except that that was a big old bass. And they just sucked that old topwater plug down. So, okay. Oh, little one. Look at this guy. Now that is classic. Okay, now let me just explain this. How that lure is bigger than the bass. That's actually a bigger lure than the bass. Why in the world would a little bitty bass, a couple inches long, hit a plug bigger than he was? That is the aggressive fish. I want to put him back because that's going to make a good stock. Any fish that's aggressive, it needs to be caught again another day when he's like 10 pounds. Maybe it'd bite good. Amazing. Amazing. That's just that plug was larger than the bass. Larger than the bass. It's really incredible. Huh. Oh, there, look at that guy. He came up and blasted it. He just blasted it right on the top. Oh, but look at that. I want to show you the testimony of a Gamakatsu hook. This is why I use Gamakatsu hooks. I just want to explain this. Why I use Gamakatsu hooks. They're the sharpest hooks in the world. Look at this thing. This guy he missed the lure and he got snagged. He got snagged in the side with these super sharp hooks. Now that in tournament competition or just any competition will pay off in the long run. You start catching fish like that, nice big keeper with just a plug that he actually missed the lure and just came up and the hooks got him. The hooks got him. That saved the day. That's really incredible. There's some incredible things happening today. The lure as a jerkbait isn't as much of a jerkbait as it is a topwater plug, but it's working, and I've caught some nice bass on it. So that's the good thing. And the incredibly sharp hooks have saved the day as well. I mean, they come up and some of them are just kind of swirling on it, but that plug is got 3 sharp number 4 Gamakatsu super sharp hooks in. I mean, if they come anywhere near that bass, he's going to get caught, just like that last one. Okay, boys and girls, let's kind of see what happens over here. Boy, here's a big old bass, I'm telling you, folks. Big old bass. That's a big old bass. Yeah. Oh, look at it. Oh, he looks. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this right here. Watch this. Watch this. Look at the plug. The plug's right here. The plug's right there. Look at it. Look, he's got it. 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 He came up and got it just right on the top. He came right up on top. Just as perfect. Perfect as can be. I'm telling you what, folks. That was as good as they get. You can't get a better deal like that. Whoa. Well, folks, I tell you what, I'm so impressed with this plug, and I'm so impressed with the techniques involved. I'm going to try one more cast out there, but that was really, really kind of special. Nice bass. Beautiful 3-4 pound bass. But the way he came up and sucked it down, that was good. So again, it's more of a topwater plug than it is anything else. So what a bass, what a beautiful bass. On the new Spro, and they call this jerkbait the zero minnow, because it just doesn't want to go deep. It just stays right on the top. So let's throw back out there again. And I'll just throw it right back there where that last one hit. And see if he comes up and grabs it. Well, we had some exciting action today, folks, on this little plug. This brand new little plug has really been a hot deal. I mean, it is really something else. It's really something else. They're biting the heck out of it. I mean, oh, there's one. Oh man, he hit that thing just right as it hit the water. That's got to be a spawning fish, I'll bet. That's got to be a spawning fish. I don't know what it was, but it just hit that plug just right in the water, just like that. So I'll tell you, folks, I hope I've shown you a few things about this particular new lure. It's really paying off. This isn't the biggest one of the day, but it's a nice one. And so, folks, I tell you, that zero little bait by Spro, hey, it's going to be a good topwater kind of springtime lure. These spawners are hitting it. I think just any kind of fish, but particularly these spawning fish, and that's what's got to be this fish here. So, folks, I tell you, I just love doing these YouTube videos. I love to catch these fish like I've been catching today, showing you new techniques, a new trick, and a new lure by Spro, the zero little jerkbait. So, folks, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Hit that likes button. We'll see you again soon.